What is going on, pimps, players, chicken jockeys, and otherwise? What you are listening to is an AI cover of the Chicken Jockey Flint and Steel song. To get serious though, I wanted to go over some of the memes that came out of the Minecraft movie. To be clear, I haven't watched it. It looks like complete madness in the freaking theaters. And from what I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing on Instagram Reels versus what I'm seeing on the internet, like with reviews wise, it's like critics are giving it a 44%, and then the audience is giving it like an 88% on like Tomato Meter and Popcorn. I think the reviews from the movie are pretty mirrored to that of what you would probably get if you asked Salem Witch Trials onlookers for their review of what was happening in front of them. Like if some 11-year-old girl was getting burned on the stake for like going up to some random dude and doing this, doing that, and then she got put on the stake for it, and like if you were to ask the mother what she thought of what was going on, she'd probably give it like a 44% on the Tomato Meter. But if you looked at like one of the people who accused her of witchcraft, they'd be like an audience member giving it an 88%. I found this like 2-minute video of like all the main like lines being said, and then it just pans over to the reaction of the entire audience.
My name is Steve, and as a child, I yearned for the mines. But it didn't really work out.
So first thing we start off with is the children yearn for the mines meme, and I actually have that meme, or excuse me, I have the codex for the translation of it. I'll put it up on screen. So clearly when a baby says gaga baba dada, he means, Father, I hunger to prove myself through toil in the mines. Pretty simple translation there. It just goes all the way back to Latin. I'm sure you guys know. Next one up is wah, followed by burbling. And of course, you have to know specifically. Usually this kind of thing comes around when your child gets around 1 to 2 years old. But of course, what this means is, neath rock and quarry lies the precious ore. So you need a little bit of experience with that. And this next one comes a little bit further down the line, probably closer to like 3 years, and we're starting to get into like toddler territory, but still young enough to be able to toll in the mines. This one is Dada Guda, which, if you didn't know, means the child labor laws of 1938 were too restrictive. I can hear the song of the pickaxe striking my brothers. It is time. You know, as children grow up just naturally in our culture, we can see that gradually they just have a connection to the mines. I'm sure all of you remember being down there in the mines, watching that Zoolander scene, being like, oh yeah, who's this little Ponzi right here? You know, we get our hands dirty. We don't flinch at Black Lung, baby.
Flint and Steel.
So the next one is, of course, the iconic Flint and Steel line. Now, when I was younger, I did have the Pocket Edition, but I was always too afraid to play on Survival, and it was kind of backwards, because I would build like these gigantic sky bases and have all these like elaborate railroad interconnecting to like other bases just in case I needed like a quick escape. But of course, when nighttime came around, there was zero threats. I think the only threat was probably me taking too much Benadryl and seeing the Hat Man, or my mother just taking the phone and closing the game. So So the captions in this one say that he said, I am Steve, but I didn't really hear it. I'll just go ahead and take her word for it, though. This is like when Iron Man does that thing in Endgame when he's like, I am Iron Man, and he like fists Thanos and he dies and everybody else. I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of forgot the ending of Endgame. But I bet you, instead of Iron Man, if this was Steve, he would have made Thanos go number 1, 2, and 3. And you don't want to know. You don't want to know what number 3 is. And when I say that, I mean all 3 at the same time.
This is a crafting table.
For this one, it kind of looks like Steve just took one of those like chunky erasers and then a pencil that the weird kid ate half of and just kind of put it on a table and smacked it. But one thing I also wanted to point out was that as someone who hasn't watched the movie, getting like context from just the clips is kind of weird because I keep forgetting his name. I'm just gonna call him freaking Aquaman. But looking at Aquaman dressed with like he looks like 80s out, and again, not having the context, I don't know why he's dressed like that, or why he looks how he does, or what character he plays.
Chicken jockey!
The chicken jockey scene just basically turns into a UFC fight where every member of the audience basically just turns into the coach, just yelling at freaking Aquaman to just like do a move, get him in a freaking rear naked triangle chokehold or something like that. And it like one guy's even standing up, just sacrificing his soul to the great beyond, just for giving him a chance at being able to see this movie at this point in time, and just have to be able to stand up like that in the middle of a movie and have nobody think that's weird or like look back and like why is he doing that is truly a masterpiece that, like I said, even Barbenheimer couldn't produce this level of hype within the movie. At least not that I remember. I don't remember people giving standing ovations and the movie hadn't even finished yet.
What's my crap?
I don't know if the Let's Minecraft thing is a reference. To me, it just kind of seemed like a four-person agreement to like take enough Benadryl for all of them to collectively astral project their souls together so that they could see the Hat Man and run a 4-man on him. But yeah, that was kind of the end of the references part. But overall, it seemed like people had a lot of fun with this, and for the most part, police weren't called that many times. Like I said, the fact, like I legitimately don't ever remember hearing throughout, I know my 20 years so long, but I don't think I've ever heard of a movie having to be paused because audience members were literally going so buck wild in there that police had to step in and be like, yo, chill the fuck out. And then just kind of bounce after that or arrest them. But yeah, that is my impromptu, incomplete review of the Minecraft movie.